I wanted to lay hands on you so that you know the safety of a father's love.
Latoya Odom.
Tasha K.
Are you Jamal Bryant, the preacher, the minister, the fornicator? Is he your baby daddy?
He is.
Is he a present father?
Never has been.
There is no secret that Pastor Jamal Bryant has a lot of children. There's also no secret that there was some infidelity during his marriage and he had a child during the marriage. Well, that's the child I want to talk about today. Tasha K sat down with Latoya Odom to speak about the relationship that Jamal Bryant has with his son. Now, she only put this short clip out because she's going to do a full interview on her page. So if you want to watch the interview, you have to go subscribe. It will drop on Father's Day. But I'm going to talk about a little bit of the history between Pastor Jamal Bryant and Latoya Odom and some other things that I have seen Pastor Jamal Bryant put up about being a father. So before I get into the clips, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. I'm not charging you anything to subscribe. This is not Netflix, okay? And like this video so that other people can join the conversation because the algorithm will push it out. Make sure that you shop at CourgeneHair.com for your healthy hair care products. I am the founder and owner of the brand, and the best way to support me is by supporting my business. Now let's get into the clips.
How did you meet Mr. Bryant?
He found me on MySpace. That's how old this is. He befriends me on MySpace, and then I start looking into all of his little profiles. Like, oh, he's married. He just asked me to be his massage therapist. So I'm trying to figure out the 2 and 2, like what is going on. And he was like, well, I'm going through a divorce. He's like, I want to get a massage. Come to the hotel. I'll pay you whatever. And I'm going to church tonight. This is when it gets crazy. He said I seduced him.
You massaged?
Yeah, I massaged him.
Naked?
Next thing I know, clothes coming off. So we have sex.
Protected?
No. Louisiana people say, you know how you could tell there's alligators in the water? Go and test the water. Is it wet? The alligator's in the water. So you know I'm fertile. I just told you. So you came to the water wet. With no condom, no nothing.
He nutted in you.
I got pregnant on the first try.
There has been child support paid to you.
The last payment I received was $96.
You able to make contact with Mr. Bryant?
I did reach out. I wasn't able to reach him directly, though. But I sent him an email. I sent him the Zoom information. I tried calling his cell. It didn't go. It went straight to voicemail.
All right, let's proceed.
Okay. So, Your Honor, by way of background, again, as I mentioned this morning, this is a review and modification. We are modifying a consent judge. Prior order entered by this court in November 2016. That order was Civil Action File number 16-CV-1613. Presumptive child support amount was $2,096.41. The upward deviation was $254, which brought it to the $2,350. Which was our agency recommendation.
And John loves him. One day he told me, he said, Mommy, I love you and I love my daddy.
So he was helping at some point.
This is an intergovernmental case, which means he pays Georgia. Once Georgia receives the payment, Georgia sends it to Texas or wherever you are, and then your state distributes it to you. Whenever your state distributes it to you, doesn't have anything to do with us. But if he gets more than 30, if he does not pay within 30 days, if he does not pay in the entire month, that's when he's in trouble. He has paid every single month, which is why he does not have an arrears balance. So when you asked the other day, what's up with your payment? He had made his payment on November 8th. Whether or not you've received it, that's why I said you have to talk to your state, because Texas is in control of when you receive the funds.
Okay, but he's giving Georgia. I'm
sorry.
He's giving to Georgia timely.
Correct. Every single month he is given to Georgia timely, and it's typically between the 1st and the 8th of the month.
Okay,
John really believes his dad. This is what he said at 2. He said, Mommy, I want to go see my daddy. So I dressed him up at 2. He was in Atlanta, and I took him. Do you know Jamal never touched him? Just looked at him. They had a staring contest.
You mind if I talk to you, baby? Can you sit down? That's why I don't like him. He's on my platform.
Remember early on I said there's no secret that Pastor Jamal Bryant has a lot of children? Okay, so we know that John exists. Now, I never knew how John looked, but now we know. Now, the clips that I showed you from the court case were back in late 2024. If you want to see the full video and have not seen it, I will put it in the description below. Now, there's another clip where they had to go to court again because that judge had to recuse herself from the case due to some things being put out in the public's eye that should not have been put out, like Jamal Bryant's income. And so I will also put that clip in the description. But what I am here to talk about today is the clip that Tasha K has put up. Tasha K released this clip about a week ago, and she stated that she will release the full video on Father's Day. Now, many people have said that Jamal Bryant always celebrates Father's Day and does it in a big way. And I've looked up some clips and noticed that he gets down on Father's Day.
Open up your hand for me, please. Open up your hand for me, please. Thank you. I need America to see the new model of what we get ready to do. You're going to lay hands on your own son. That whatever you went through, he'll never have to go through. Whatever disappointment you've had, he'll never know about it. I declare and decree, hear me, look at me. I declare and decree, when you lay hands on him, the childhood issue is resolved. The stuff that happened to you as a kid will now be erased because it will not be transferred into Trinity's life. I declare it, hear me, when Trinity is anointed, your son is being anointed. And here's where I need you to shout. Your son will be anointed even if he don't know his father. Even if his father ain't anointed. Even if his father don't go to church. Come on, let's lay hands on your son. I declare and decree. Open up your mouth that the glory.
That was a wonderful video. And a lot of people in the comments felt like this video was very inspiring. But for me, I'm not going to say it's not inspiring, but I'd be more inspired if this was Jamal Bryant and his son. And I say that because I've never seen his son at church with him. Now, there was a point where I said, well, maybe he's not at church with him because mom says that the little boy has autism. She talks about that in the video during the court case. You'd have to go see it for yourself. And I know that as a mom with an autistic son, they can be really sensitive or have sensory issues. There was a point in time where I could not go to church with my child, so I attended services online a lot. And so I was thinking, well, maybe that's the boy's issue. And I still can't say that that's not his issue, right? What I can say is I didn't see him in these Christmas photos that they took last year. I think it was 2025, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see him in the photos. It doesn't matter what year it was. Where was this child? And then I thought, well, maybe mom won't let Jamal Bryant see the son. But then I said, well, no, I'm making up excuses for him because with all of the money that Jamal Bryant has, he could easily take her to court and get visitation. The mom's in Texas, Jamal's in Atlanta. That's not super far. And he could see his child as much as he wants, or at least as much as the court allows him, whatever that agreement is. But yet and still, I have not seen this child. So now I'm sitting here saying, well, Jamal Bryant, when you're in church doing all of these things for Father's Day, what is it that you are truly doing for your son? Now, again, I'm not 100% taking mom's side. Please don't misunderstand me. I understand how mothers can work when they have children and they're not with the fathers. I get that. But I also know that dads can take moms to court. And another thing that I realized in watching the videos of Jamal Bryant's court case is that Jamal Bryant has bread in his pockets, so much so that a judge recused herself from his case because she did something wrong and said something out of order. And I know that was all Jamal Bryant and his attorneys working in his favor. So if something like that can happen, how much could truly happen with him trying to see his son as much as possible? I've never even heard the man talk about his son. I've never even heard the wife talk about his son. But you know what I have heard? Them talk about that dress. So much so that they were on Tamron Hall talk show talking about the dress. And you know what I haven't heard? Jamal Bryant addressed these allegations.
I came to church on Father's Day. Is there any word for me when I can't find my father?
Pastor Jamal Bryant has been talking about fathers for years. So that's why I expected him to address these allegations. And he still might. I mean, there's still time and room. The video clip only dropped, a week and a half ago. But I thought he would bring it into his Sunday service in the pulpit like he does everything else. Because when the conversation arose about that dress, he was on it like the next Sunday. Okay? And almost every Sunday after that. I'm just saying. I just thought he was going to move expeditiously. Even if he didn't want to bring it to the pulpit, I thought, okay, well, maybe he'll come on his podcast and talk about it with Let's Be Clear. But he didn't do that either. So I'm just still sitting here waiting to see what he has to say. And before anybody says anything, well, maybe he doesn't want to say anything. It's just allegations. I'm still waiting on him to clear it up. Why? Because of all the questions I had before. And anytime you get in a pulpit and lay your hands on fathers and sons and children that don't have a father, I am going to expect you to talk about yourself as a dad to all of your children.
So, what is one thing about fatherhood that you love the most? And what are your girls teaching you every day?
My girls are teaching me every day how much I don't know. They're reminding me how brilliant they are. I'm amazingly proud of them. And I am just shocked to see how much intellect they have and how they're above their years. They're way ahead of where I was when I was there.
Somebody probably is thinking the interviewer did not ask him about anybody else but the girls. But you know what a real dad would have done? An active dad. A dad who cares about all of his children. A dad who would think, what if my other kids see this and how would they feel? That type of dad would have said, I actually have 8 children and all of my children are a blessing and all of my children are doing well. He would have mentioned all of his children, not just the 3 girls. But that's the only thing that has been mentioned over and over and over again, because that's where the spotlight is placed on the 3 girls that he had while married. That is strategic. I almost could say that word. That is strategic. Just think about it. We know that he does not have a clean background as a pastor, but it muddies the waters even more when as a pastor he ignores or doesn't acknowledge, or what's the word I'm looking for? Doesn't correct other people when they don't acknowledge all of his children that he is responsible for and brought into the world. That's why I have a problem with this whole situation. But that's not the only reason why. My other issue is the mom, because I understand what it's like to be a single mother. I've been there before. I understand what it's like to sin, fornicating, and bring a child into the world. I get it. So I'm not condemning her about those things, because she has to go to God and ask God for forgiveness and repent. What I do have an issue with her is bringing her son on for everybody to see. That would be my issue. I would have not brought my son on. I don't care whose podcast I would have been on. I can talk to you, but my son stays out of this, and I can get my story out there and tell everybody how low down and dirty the pastor has been and still is. But I don't need to bring my son on here to say it or to prove it. I would have respected her more for that. The other thing is, in that short clip that was played, she spoke as if she wasn't accountable at all.
I know, clothes coming off. So we have sex.
Protected?
No. Louisiana people say, you know how you could tell there's alligators in the water? Go and test the water. Is it wet? The alligator's in the water. So you know I'm fertile. I just told you. So you came to the water wet, with no condom, no nothing.
You both are adults. So you as a woman know you're ovulating. Why would you go lay up with someone knowing that you know what, never mind, I don't even have to ask the question. I done answered it in my own brain. My point to this whole thing is she is accountable just like Pastor Jamal Bryant is accountable. Pastor Jamal Bryant is held to a higher standard because at the time of this whole situation, he was still a pastor. I think that there are two people who have brought a child into the world, and that child is broken. And it is up to both parents to help that child become unbroken as much as they possibly can. It is not going to be just on Jamal Bryant. It is also going to be on the mom. But I do hold Jamal Bryant to a higher standard if he is not doing everything in his power to be an active father in his son's life. Not to mention again that he is a pastor. And the Bible states that a pastor should be above reproach. He should be the husband of one wife. The teacher will be judged more harshly. Jamal Bryant is a teacher. He's a pastor. He's a shepherd of God's people. Bruh, you cannot be out here doing this. And at the same time, on platforms talking about you're for the black community, and the black community, at least some of them, are sitting in his congregation.
Do you understand that there's no place you can go in the world where we are not represented? That's why we got to stand together. Those from Jamaica, those from Trinidad, those from the Bahamas, those from Bermuda, those from Cote d'Ivoire, those from Sudan, those from the Congo, those from South Africa, those from Liberia, those from Southside Chicago, those from West Baltimore, those from Compton. We got to stand together.
No. One of the issues with the black community is dads not being in the household and dads not raising their sons. And then those same sons get in trouble and wind up behind bars. That's one of our big issues in the community. So if you can stand in a pulpit and talk about the black community and everything that Trump does and doesn't do, we got to look at the people in the mirror first.
When you found out that whoever your child's mother was pregnant,
Yes.
what went through your head? What did you think? Like, did you think you was going to try to manage that secretly? Like, what did you think you were going to do?
I think that people really don't deal with the reality of thoughts of suicide.
You thought about that?
Oh, yeah. Because I didn't know life as an alternative. And one of the greatest barriers that people have to contend with is the tattoo of shame.
So nothing in my mind ever said, one, I would ever get caught. Number two, that my wife would ever leave. Number three, that my church would tank out.
Walk us through what happened.
I stepped rolling outside of my marriage and had a extramarital affair that ultimately ended in a divorce to an incredibly wonderful woman, not because anything was flawed in the marriage or in her, but in my own immaturity for the level that I was getting ready to go into. And when that happened, I think I was one of the first, if not the first, I don't want to take the honor, the first real black pastor to go through being castigated over the internet. My oldest daughter is 15. And I had to go to Atlanta, where it is that she lives, because a teacher said something sideways to her. And she was absolutely traumatized. If nothing else, this has been the most humbling process that you got to keep reliving it and explaining it and dealing with it and defending it. And nobody really understands that when you're in that public spotlight, you don't have the opportunity to process in private. So when I went through a divorce, Roland, it wasn't between just me and my ex-wife.
it was 12,000 people who were members of my church going through it at the same time, whose heart was broken, whose expectations were absolutely dashed. I had members arguing to protect my name in beauty salons and in supermarkets. And it was one of the most harrowing experiences of my life. I lost like 17 pounds going through the stress of it. Had to go through therapy for a year and watch my ministry really disintegrate in front of my hands while I'm still trying to salvage what was left of what I was going to do in ministry. And I'll never forget a critical conversation I said to my dad. I said, Dad, you know, this is it. There's no way I'm going to resuscitate. My father was in Los Angeles at the time as bishop over that jurisdiction. Dad, you got to get me a church in California. Get me out of here.
It's no secret that I'm not the biggest fan of Jamal Bryant, and there are a couple of reasons why. He focuses on the outside issues of the world more so than he focuses on Jesus in the pulpit. The sermons I've heard, it's always about blackity black, 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 and the community and the presidency and all of the other things. And it takes the focus off of Jesus and people repenting and being convicted of their sins. Him twisting the word of God and in order for it to fit his narrative. I don't like when any pastor does that. So he's not in it by himself. But since we're talking about him, those would be my reasons for being very disappointed in him as a pastor. And his past, yes, there was disappointment there, but I thought that was put behind him, especially since he wound up getting married, right? So at least we know, okay, you're not fornicating anymore, right? But now it's like, dude, okay, you're not that great of a pastor, and then you're not going to be a great dad either to all your children. It's just disappointing all the way around. And I know somebody probably questioning, like, why are you disappointed? Because I'm rooting for anybody who is trying or struggling. And I just think that he lets his flesh get the best of him each and every time. And many Christians struggle with that. Many Christians. They want to do right, but somehow that flesh continues to win. And that's what I feel like his problem is. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just my perception of it. So you can give me yours in the comments below, because that's what I'm here for.